and good evening, 5 Yard Rush Nation. My name's the Joel Hewitt, the Hat Rank with a Heart of Gold, and welcome to the 5 Yard Rush Halloween Spectacular. Happy halfway-in. I'm joined again, as always, by Alex. You can't see the woods for the trees. Woods, the other one, and Pete, the off-season champion, Melia. How are we doing, fellas? There's a definite level of effort for the Halloween episode here. I don't want to say I'm at the top of it, but I'm at the top of it.
Excuse me, I turned the light off.
You did,
Light off
and I'm absolutely terrified by you. And I assume Alex is somewhere within there. Alex, you're gonna have to explain to everybody what you've come as this Halloween.
I decided that in the week where we saw nothing but a lot of garbage football, that I would dress as the worst team in the league. So I have very clearly come as the Cleveland Browns.
We were trying to decide who it was. Pete said Jets. I thought Dolphins, but the Browns is clearly the trashiest of all of the teams. So Myles Garrett sat on his own on the edge of the bench while everybody was off to the other side supporting one another. So that was an interesting take from from the Browns there. I can't. I'm either laughing at the bin bag that is Alex or absolutely terrified by the face that is Pete there. I'm just going to grab a screenshot of this one for those of you singing along at home, because this is hilarious. Thank you very much. All right,
light on.
Let's kick it off as always with the news.
Yes, sir. News from the underground.
There it is. Oh, Pete's vanished. He's back.
Still
And Alex has debagged. Oh gosh, I am absolutely thrown through a loop here. But he has still wore brown, so that is still on theme.
Nice.
And Pete, you've turned the light on behind you, not in front of you.
Oh, didn't again. What's that?
Professional setup that we're going for this week.
There we go.
It's terrifying. Honestly, it looks like you're trying to ransom something from Alex and I. All right, who's kicking off with some news stories? I think Alex, you put most of this together, so feel free.
Yeah, the injury guy has come back and just robbed us of everything, which links into Pete sticking us up right here, because there's a lot that has happened this week and it is just sad. Carson Wentz, he's up for the season now, and he broke the socket where his shoulder goes, I'm told. Which just sounds awful, and it sounds very painful for a guy that's got to stand up like that. Obviously, the sad news, if your name is Joel, Cam Scatterbo is out for the rest of the year.
All right, peace, Scat. Love you, man.
It was one of them where you looked at his leg and it was like, yeah, no, he's done. Like, that ankle was not in the right position where it's supposed to be. Saquon Barkley was absolutely amazing for the Philadelphia Eagles this week. I'm sure we'll get to the Eagles at some point. But he left with a groin injury, which can either be absolutely killer or he'll be fine in a week. Pat Satan II will miss multiple games with what I'm told is a quad injury. Or is it a pec injury? It's one or the other. And
I think
then
pec, actually.
Pec, sorry, thank you. A pec injury. Yeah. And one of the Bills' best defensive players, and arguably one of the best defensive players in the league, Ed Oliver, who was also the sack leader going through 8 games, he has torn his bicep and is out for the rest of the season.
That's brutal. That's really brutal.
We can't have nice things, can we?
We can't.
We're halfway through the season. Happy halfway in, by the way, everybody. And after 8 weeks, I feel like nobody has any like star players left. We're on backups of backups. We are seriously running out of people to cheer for. Every team is an underdog at this point. And ironically, still the chap that has not got an injury is the man that's made of biscuits, CMT.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Sucking the life and soul out of all the other players in the league. We keep saying it.
Unbelievable.
That is just an absolute witch. I've got to kind of circle back on that Carson Wentz one because that one raises a lot of questions. JJ McCarthy, how injured has he been? Because it does seem like he's not been. The injury didn't seem that bad, and it felt like, are we just keeping him out to protect him to help him grow and develop behind Wentz? But if that is the case, and they've been kind of leading everyone a merry dance on that, the fact that Wentz injured himself, he dislocated. He had a dislocated shoulder that tore his labrum and fractured the socket.
Ugh.
2.5 games ago. It happened in London. He's played 2.5 games through that. And if you saw it at the weekend, it was horrible to watch. He was in absolute agony the entire game. It felt like the end of Cool Runnings where they're just walking down the ice carrying the bobsled because they had to get to the end even though they knew it was done. It was just brutal. And they kept him out there. Just couldn't understand it. Even put your QB3 in if McCarthy's genuinely injured. I just couldn't understand why he was there because it felt like punishment.
Well, that's something that I've stuck in the next segment, Bangers and Trash, but I'm happy to have a bit of a chat about it. So there's a weird conspiracy going around that they don't want to put, his name's Max Brosma. They don't want to put him out there because he might actually be developing better than JJ McCarthy. And they don't want like a QB controversy to come from that. So trot out poor, literally armless Carson Wentz, force him to go out there and injure himself even further because you don't want Max Brosma, for all you fancy people out there, pick him up, to outshine. And people say, hey, you know what? Brosma, give him the keys. Let's see how he does until the end of the season.
You don't want him to Purdy Trey Lance.
Yeah, essentially.
JJ McCarthy.
Undrafted free agent, just like swoops in as well. Like it's a lovely story, and they could really run with it if he ends up being good and say, oh, JJ isn't developing from the injury, like we'll just see it through, and then they're quietly just like don't give him his job back. And it's an odd thing for that franchise anyway, because the controversy started last season when they let their absolute stud Sam Darnold go because they wanted to start like JJ McCarthy. Darnold wouldn't have cost them a lot of money. And still they were like, no, we don't want that kind of trouble, I guess, in the locker room. Ship him off. And everyone after the playoffs went, you know what? He was seeing ghosts. He's probably reverted back to that. And what is he now? Absolutely stunning at the Seahawks, who are made of rejects and just they're really, I thought they were going for a tank and get some draft picks. So what the hell is going on here, Minnesota? Because I don't know.
Yeah, gotta agree. Very, very bizarre. Talking about sad quarterbacks, did you see the press conference with Justin Fields? It was really refreshing to see a quarterback open up about mental health and the difficulties. Those that didn't see, he talked about in the last week. Obviously, he had a really, really rough week. He was told he'd been benched for Tyrod Taylor, and then Taylor got injured, so he ended up playing. Woody Johnson, the Jets owner, said, well, of course our record's this bad. You would be if you had a QB like this, or words to that effect. Basically saying, it's not the coach's fault. Fields is rubbish. That's why we're 0-7. And he talks about lying on the floor in his closet crying. Like QB Harry Potter and all his friends coming out and messaging him and talking and giving him the reassurance that he needs. And he was saying that this was really positive. And I thought, good on him for having the strength of character. He's generally one of those guys that I think everybody seems to love Justin Fields from a person point of view and his personability and everything else. Take aside whether you rate him as a player, but he seems to be a really, really well-loved player, and to have the strength to come out and say that, I thought was really, really refreshing.
If Tua had an even small amount of I can't think of the word of what Fields has, he would be wearing like a Guardian cap and all of these kinds of things. It's refreshing to see, like you say, somebody in that position say, I struggled, I've had a really rough week, that win did a lot for me, and people reaching out and saying nice things. And then, like, on the flip side of the scales, you get your Tua Tagovailoas that are just being difficult and, you know, basically are just like a ticking time bomb that can't even admit when they've had, you know, too many hits in the head.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it feels like that is crazy. I like the dude. I still rate him as a QB, and I think the trouble is everybody looks bad on the Jets. He kind of looked bad before he was on the Jets, but there were moments you could pick games out from when he was with both Chicago and at Pittsburgh and say, hey, there's something still there. So what's going to be great is whoever gets him from the Jets has got themselves an absolute star, I think. But he has to go to the right place. It's going to be tough. I'm sure there'll be a lot of talk in the offseason about where he's going to end up and whether or not it'll just be a backup. But this is the first step in getting that next job, getting the public on side.
And if he can't get a starter, which I don't think he will, I think this is his last chance as a starting job, there will be teams clambering to get him as a backup.
Cardinals this time?
Yeah, maybe.
Browns?
I don't think he give up. I think Kyle is still better than him. But I think you can back him up to someone like Lamar. He'd be amazing as a backup to Lamar. That scheme, that entire system can work practically the same. Or someone with a decent O-line and a good guy in QB that will coach him up. Take him over to Raiders. Certainly not worse than Gino.
He could probably start for the Raiders, to be fair.
Exactly.
Like if they saw out a couple of pieces there, then yeah, that might not be a bad fit. And then you've also got the wisdom that is Tom Brady as well that can like help him out from that. But yeah, good to see from Justin Fields. And anybody struggling, be a man and say something, or be a woman and say something. Don't be an idiot about it.
Yeah.
That's all of our news. Let's move on to some bangers and trash. Yes, I finally did an intro for the bangers and trash. So yeah, the good, the bad, the ugly from week 8. I had a thoroughly great Sunday. And much like a few weeks ago, I can't remember any of it. I just remember watching it and truly being like, wow, today feels like a good day of football, even though there was a lot of blowouts, a lot of one-sided things. And somehow I only managed to pick 7 winners out of the entire week, which throws me completely. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to start off because I love talking a banger. I've put Jets, Dolphins. Both bangers, absolutely. And the subcategory from that is everybody in the AFC East all won this week, which is kind of unheard of. Like you don't get an entire division winning all at the same time very often. There's usually one dud out there. I'm looking at you, Raiders and Cardinals. So yeah, the Jets game was ungodly fun. What the Bengals, what are you even doing at this point? You just put out an absolute hell of a iconic Thursday night game in week 7. And then you're like up against the Jets and we're going to somehow end up in a, 38, 37, 39, 38. It was like a 1 point difference. Lost to the Jets, handing the Jets the victory, handing the New Orleans Saints the opportunity to continue the tank. Just going to go ahead and bring that one up. Welcome to the New Orleans, Louisiana Ethical Tank Moment, brought to you by my Trick or Treat sweets that the kids don't like. So,
with the new driver,
segueing, yeah, we'll come back to the Jets, Miami, and everybody there. But I mentioned this, the Saints, so I'm going to have to keep going with it. Boy, we're on for it, and this isn't just about their performance. Other teams have started to help us out now. I think phone calls have been made. They're like, look, it's our turn. The Jets can only be so bad for so long. You've had enough number 1 picks. Let's just all settle down. Jets, go and get yourself a little win. We want a nice fight for it all at the end of the season. Miami as well. You tanked for Tua. Now you're tanking with Tua. Let's just all settle down. So quite nice to see that from everybody helping the Saints with their ethical tanking this week. We'll speak. Actually, I think we missed that from the news.
Yeah,
Shook is the starting QB for New Orleans in week what we in 9, 8, 9. I thought he looked fine, but I did. I text a friend of ours saying if they'd have just started Shook from the start, I think he would already be better than what Rattler is now. Given that he'd have had all of those weeks, because I thought a lot of the throws that he was making did look really good. Whereas there's nothing Spencer Rattler has really done for me in the past, 8 showings. So I'm really happy to give Shook a trot out. Just give him it till the end of the season. Don't care. He needs them first team reps and just crack on and get that done. But that's the New Orleans, Louisiana ethical tank moment.
Well,
Back to the Jets Miami. Oh, go on.
Something needed to get shook up.
Yeah. I like it. We don't give a shuck. There are so many things that we can use Tyler's surname for. Although spell out, it doesn't have the same kind of like ring to it. You have to say it.
Yeah.
Shao, I think, is how a lot of people have been saying it. Tyler Shao.
Shao and Shuff is the other one.
Yeah, Shuff's the other one as well. Yeah.
Can I just comment the fact that he's 26?
Yeah. He is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's the
We
oldest
said before.
rookie.
Yeah.
I feel like he's for this Disney film.
He's the last person to ever get drafted who was born in the year that started 19. Nobody ever will get drafted after him. It's fantastic.
It's bonkers. I'm taking
bangers and trash. Who's jumping in? Pete, go on. He's taking his face off. Ah!
Yeah, it's worse. Sorry, it's irritating me. So what were you saying then, mate?
Yeah. Take Pete. What you see this week? What you like?
Have you finished on Jets Bengals? Because I know we got kind of waylaid.
Well, yeah. To be fair, it was just a lot of points. I don't think there was a lot of skill going on. It was just a lot of chucking the ball about and seeing what happens. Although, quick shout out to Breece Hall going from absolute irrelevance to QB2. It wouldn't have, if Fields hadn't come out and been as emotional as he was, I think they'd have started Breece Hall at QB next week. That's all I'm saying. Like the owner will have gone, I saw the throw, like he could clearly do it. Let's crack on.
So I'm going to start then with another banger. I'm going to start with Kareem Hunt on short yardage.
Okay.
On those specific. Kareem Hunt on 4th and 1, 4th and 2 is statistically more reliable than the tush push, which is
interesting.
So going into Monday's game, they've used him 16 times in that situation, and he'd succeeded 14 times. And then last night, he had a 2-yard receiving touchdown and about a 2-inch rushing touchdown as well. He is just giving that short yardage. You need to get 1 yard, 2 yards. He gets it all the time. He's so good at that. He's terrible the rest of the game. He's like 3.5. He's sub 4 yards a carry. He's not got the burst that he used to, and he's not as good as he used to be. But he knows how to find the hole, and I think a lot of that is the fact that Creed Humphrey's an absolute monster. I don't think he's doing that in isolation. Creed Humphrey, the chief center, is superb. Yeah. But the fact that he's done that, and now we didn't mention it in the news, but Isaiah Pacheco is week to week. So
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Hunt is now full-time starter for the Chiefs. At least for the next week or two. You're like, come on, waivers.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hunt's the dude in Kansas now. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But his renaissance from when he looked like his career was completely done to come back in as filler before last season at the Chiefs. I think it was just before last season, wasn't it? Might have been in season. And he's been absolutely essential to their success. Yeah,
I think he came in a couple of weeks into last season, didn't he? And the second that they brought him back, I immediately thought, well, they've not found their Kareem Hunt replacement. They tried with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco's look good, but it not the same. You're not going, oh, thank God we've got Isaiah Pacheco in this situation. you are going, oh, good, we've got Kareem Hunt. And I didn't realize that he was that good at the short yard. So that is interesting. Good outing from Kansas. I think Kelsey broke a record. I'm just going to, in my bangers, actually, I've got Travis Kelsey finally warmed up. I'm saying he's an old man now. So he's just he's finished with those perfectly round dumbbells. And he's doing that, and he's ready to actually crack on. And I've saved some fantasy weeks this week with 99 yards and a touchdown. I think he equaled or bested some kind of record. On National Tight Ends weekend as well, which apparently Alex has an opinion on.
It's completely useless. Don't get me wrong, some of the novelty stuff that the NFL do, I quite like the Simpletons game that they put on for the Nickelodeon stuff, where they explain it better to kids and they make it more fun and more entertaining and stuff like that. That's immense. Give me that. That's awesome. That's incredible. But making up a completely made-up weekend just about one position is complete ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Because
in their defense, I think that the NFL haven't really endorsed it. It's all Kittle trying to make the position more relevant, isn't it? He puts on his little camp. He gets all his tight ends together.
Well, and the thing with this is, it wasn't even Kittle, was it? It was Greg Olsen. Kittle said, I thought it was George Kittle. Kittle set it up and said, we're just trying to get a few together to discuss best practice. Had a chat with Greg Olsen at the end of the game just before he retired. And then Olsen was like, okay, yeah. A couple of weeks later, right, I've called every tight end that's ever lived. And we now need to hire out North Texas to get this working. And it just went, it exploded because of Olsen.
But is it, I'll let Alex rant a little bit more in a sec, but is it that we're more aware that it's National Tight Ends Day? So when we see tight ends catch touchdowns, we go, oh, well, it's National Tight Ends Day. Or have the weird tight ends all been doing well this season and I've not noticed? Because there were some strange ones out there.
It's a bit of both. It's a bit of both. I think this week didn't really help that it was George Kittle's return to actual playing football and being good. That didn't help because obviously, as Pete said, he is very involved in this and how they deal with it in what they call in tight end U, I believe it's called. Because they bring all the tight ends down and they all have a practice together and do that lot. But that's all fine, by the way. That's not what I'm beefing about. That's absolute great. I wish quarterbacks did that. I wish wide receivers did that. I wish loads of other positions did that and had that camaraderie together. That's awesome to see. It's this National Tight Ends Day that every announcer mentions. I tried to count the amount of times it was mentioned on Red Zone and lost count after the first two quarters because it's just a lot and it's not really necessary. You could say, this quarterback, for example, Dalton Kincaid is a tight end U prospect, somebody that came to tight end U, then developed his skills, went into college, then got drafted by the Bills. Brilliant. He's just got a touchdown. Awesome. That's incredible. And that brings a human element story to it instead of it's National Tight Ends Day. Cool. Tyler Kraft did amazing. Man, yeah. Whoa, whoa.
I mean, Tyler Kraft did do amazing, by the way. Tucker Kraft as well.
Tucker Kraft it is. It is. It's Tucker Kraft. Sorry. It began with a T.
I was trying to get AI to give me a list of all of the tight ends that scored this week, but it's having none of it. All it keeps telling me is that Tucker Kraft had 2 receiving touchdowns in week 8. But there were some strange ones. I think the Chargers. He started it all off, didn't he? With I think he got a couple. There's been a lot of rushing to get him off of waivers and whatnot. I actually started him this week because I had no other option. It was oh Christ, that's the only one that appears to be able to start this week. I'll put him in. And anyway, I just swamped the guy that I was against. So that was fun for me. It made me look real smart. They were like, this kid knows ball. I'm like, oh yeah, he does. I can't even pronounce his name. I know it starts with an O.
I started him in our home league and felt very smug about it. And then I realized I was facing Breece Hall and it just all went out the window.
Yeah.
Everything I did didn't matter.
if both of you wanted to like look smart to everybody else and look like you were proper 5-yard rush people, you'd have said, I watched Murph's episode on the Thursday. He said, go pick this guy up. Went and I picked this guy up.
Well,
I already had him.
saw me do it in the league and thought he knows what he's on about.
I had him ages ago. It's just the only option that I've got. I'm in like some weird tight end premium league where every single one went, and then I realized, oh no, I don't have 7 tight ends like everybody else. So that's how he ended up on my squad. I'm gonna dip into some trash because I want to continue to put a shoe in on the Vikings again. Because I won't talk about it for long, but it's literally the only thing that I've got like 3 things, and 2 of them are the Vikings. And I'm not gonna like hammer on that because I've already made all my points. That the other one in trash, I've put tush push or butt fumble. I mean, take it back, okay? We can't use the butt fumble anymore because it turns out that he's allegedly a psychopath. So we need a new butt fumble highlight, don't we? Because we can't talk about Mark Sanchez all the time.
Yes.
So I'm saying that this week was the butt fumble where the tush push was fumbled, and they're just absolute monsters. Credit to your man in the locker room, by the way. I didn't know who it was. He was on the Giants, and he was like, "Look, the refs tried, but like something." Like we can't do anything about it. We'll just like carry on playing. And I thought that's quite a mature response from somebody. But I watched I think it was like 8-minute rant from Rich Eisen talking about, right, that's it. Enough is enough. When does the progress stop? Like, when do you decide? Also, they called it dead before they blew the whistle and then said that, progress had stopped. So now we're done. Like, it just stupid. So it's going to get banned because there's too much talk about it now. And it's only really benefiting one team. The problem is that one team does it really well and won the Super Bowl last year. So now it looks like you're trying to ban something from the winning team.
But they don't do it well now.
No.
And the thing is, that was the most egregious one in that game, but there were a few very, very iffy decisions in that game. It felt like everything went against Giants. Daboll, I thought, might combust. He looks on the cusp of just splattering the entire stadium in his own gore. He was livid, and I completely understood it. I was actually going, they've been screwed again and again and again. I mean, the fact that he appealed, didn't he? That you can't challenge this. You can't challenge forward progress. He's like, I'm going to challenge it anyway. What can I challenge just to make you have a look at it and see if we can get it around?
Yeah.
And I think that was just out of pure exasperation because it shouldn't have stood. And it was such an important. I mean, in hindsight, it doesn't look like it really would have mattered because it was such a big scoring difference.
Could have been a turning point.
Yeah, and that early in the game, it can make a difference. It really can. Psychologically, losing a bad thing like that can really, really impact upon a team.
I think the other thing I think the other thing for the Giants that really flipped their switch was the Cam Scatterbo injury.
Yeah,
like you saw it physically affected Jackson Dart. Like he wasn't right after that, and Daboll somehow managed to get redder. It was like his face just kept turning redder and redder and redder. I thought by the end of it, he was going to be able to cook a kebab. It was just so bad. But that was the other thing as well, was the Scatterbo injury really affected a lot of them because he is the vibes guy of that team, and to see them so deflated that was there. The cool bit of news that was from there was I don't know if anybody saw it, the security guy, Big Dom, that has made like loads of news for the Eagles. And like he is a ginormous 6'9" Undertaker / Kane / Big Show level human being is Big Dom. He's head of security for the Philadelphia Eagles. He took cheesesteaks, burgers, pizzas to the hospital where Cam Scatterbo had been taken to feed all the people that were waiting with Scatterbo.
And
beautiful.
I love that he took cheesesteaks and pizzas and I took them snacks. That's not snacks, mate. That's meals. You're just that massive.
It's a different world, man. Different world. I can see that the Giants will go one of two ways. Either they're really going to miss him and then they're going to go downhill, or they're just going to be massively annoyed with some of the calls from last week and come out all guns ablaze and, got nothing to lose. We're probably not going to make the playoffs. Let's just play smash mouth football and everyone's going to be a scatboo. There's going to be so many people running headfirst into people next weekend. It's going to be carnage from there. But yeah, hate to see it. Speaking of fumbles, little segue there. Saw a stat. The Kansas City Chiefs have fumbled 8 times this season and have recovered all of them.
Wow. That is some lightning reflexes. That's impressive.
That is madness. Yeah, so that's just a little stat for you there. What else have you been up to? What are you watching?
Bo Nix is actually phenomenal.
He's him, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's the dude. You used to the Broncos having kind of a mediocre QB, and he's not that guy. To say he's only the second, it's only realistically his second season in this league. 4 TDs, 117 passer rating, and 247 yards isn't bad going. And my question to the group, because we're going to get onto more Broncos stuff later, but my question to the group, is the AFC West the best quarterback division in football?
AFC best gets my thumb up.
Oh, see, I find this tough because they've got Mahomes, Herbert, Nix, but they've also got Geno, womp womp. So I think it probably is, but I think just kind of a high tide raises all boats. I wonder if the NFC West has something to say as well. When you've got Hurts, Dak, Daniels, and who
Jackson Dart,
I think looks better than Geno. So there's a couple that are in contention, but yeah, it's got to be the NFC West, really, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mahomes just lifts everybody else up no matter what. And the way Herbert's playing at the minute, it is fantastic.
And once the Raiders get Justin Fields.
Yeah. So I meant NFC East, didn't I? Not NFC West. That's poor. I got the wrong division then.
Yeah, I wasn't going to correct you. I was going to let TikTok do its thing on that one. We'll give anyone a podcast. That's right. We're anyone. Alex, what you were talking about Bo Nix. I completely lost my train of thought then. I talked a big game about the Broncos in the preseason and before that even. And after the first few weeks, I was like, I might have been wrong here, but I refuse to say so. So I held like they're going to do it. And they're finally proving me right, which I very much appreciate because that division needs that competition. And Chargers and Herbert look great as well. They're all lucky that they get to play the Raiders. So, that's easy few wins there. They'll all make the playoffs. And then you'll see the difference. That's when, Herbert falls apart. Pat Mahomes becomes the T1000. And then I guess we'll see what happens to Bo Nix. He could end up on either side of that. But he does have Sean Payton behind him, who has a lot of playoff experience and a Super Bowl. So there's a lot to be said about that entire room. Pete, what you got?
On that, I'm going to talk about another second-year quarterback. This time it's going to be May.
Nice.
Yeah.
NSYNC ref. Love that. Thanks. Sorry, Alex. NSYNC were this popular band in the early 2000s. You might have grown up listening to them in a nursery rhyme form.
I know who NSYNC are. They are the birth of Justin Timberlake. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Your grandparents played them on the wireless.
Oh, yeah. You respect the classics. That's good to know.
I had a tape of NSYNC growing up. Like, come on.
Oh, that was my tape jokes.
So, we've got obviously Drake May had 3 touchdowns and interception, and it kind of ties into a trash with the Browns that I'll come to in a second. But he had 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and just absolutely balled out, and he has all season. 282 yards, passer rating of 135.8. So that was 75% of his passes completed in that game, but that's what he's done all season. He is the best, the most accurate passer in the entire league, and he doesn't have a great receiving core. So leads the league in completion percentage at 75%. And there's a stat came out by Mina Kimes on ESPN on passes of 20 yards or more. He's first in the league in QBR, first in completion rate, first in EPA, which you don't know is expected points added that comes on after every play. So per drop back, he adds more per play, and he's the first in touchdown percentage.
Gosh.
There's 5 quarterbacks in history that have had 200 plus yards and 100 plus passer rating in 7 straight games. Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and Drake May. That is some company to be keeping for a second-year quarterback. He is playing lights out. And I think I said it before the season. I'm a really, really big fan of his coach. He did a fantastic job in Tennessee. I think people forget that people in hindsight go, oh, yeah, but Vrabel's Titans, they were Derrick Henry. It was all Derrick Henry. But the season that they were the 1 seed in the AFC, Derrick Henry missed half the season, and they had Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, and he got them to the 1 seed. They were that good. He's such a good coach. He knows how to get the best out of a quarterback, and he's doing it here. And he's got a really talented young gunslinger, and they're the great quarterbacks to watch. They're so exciting, and you know that an explosive play can come at any time. And I just love watching. I think, New England.
Alex had him in the MVP race before all the other lesser pundits out there have started ranking him in their top 5. Alex was there before, so just wanted to shout that one out. I know getting scooped by bigger places like ESPN, putting out tweets, clearly listening to this and what Alex has to say each week. So ESPN, we know you're watching. Yeah.
I see
Alex,
McAfee. I see you stealing my stuff. I see you, my
it
guy.
is.
And I'm just showing you how much I'm listening by just repeating everything that you said last week.
No. Honestly, pal, none of what you just said was exactly what I said last week. All I said last week was that he is better than Tom Brady ever was for New England in his first in the first 7 games that Drake May has played for the New England Patriots. No other quarterback is better than him in all of the stats you've just listed, and including sacks taken and stuff like that. He's phenomenal. I completely agree with you. And for me, he would be this season's MVP if it wasn't already had the name Patrick Mahomes chiseled into it. But yeah, that's the way it's got to be. It's the NFL. What more do you want? Can we start talking about some ownership guys that really just need to get a grip and fire their coaches?
Please do.
Yeah.
List them. Who we getting rid of?
Can we get rid of Zach Taylor with the Bengals?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can we get rid of Kevin Stefanski with the Browns?
Yes.
Probably. Yeah. I think his offense hasn't evolved. It's not evolved. He was good and he's done good things, but I think it's becoming stale now.
Honestly, for the Browns, and we've talked a little bit about them already, and we'll go on a little bit more. I've seen some articles say, "Oh, I'd like to see how Deshaun Watson looks in this team."
Oh God,
like that.
No,
That's where we've got to with this Browns experiment right now. Is that we're like, oh yeah, let's get and not. This isn't even alleged. This is proven. Let's get a horrible human being in here to this mess and see how we can deal with this.
Not just a horrible human being, a horrible quarterback. He's been awful.
Yeah.
He's been awful for years.
So, we can get onto the Browns more. The Panthers head coach, whoever he is, that's not working. Yeah. That's not
Oh.
working. It's not working whatsoever.
I disagree with that. I'm anti this take. I'm going to be honest.
Okay. I've got the Saints as well because I don't understand the need for a tank. I don't get the ethical tank. I've never got it. The Titans already have. I want the Cardinals to blow everything up, and we've said this for multiple weeks. I've said this for multiple years, and the one that is going to be a hotter take, arguably, than the Panthers. I think the Falcons guys should absolutely blow everything up as well. They've got a stellar roster, and it's stacked. And the fact that they lay down almost every week is embarrassing.
Oh, there are some
This is
spicy
an
takes
interesting
there.
one. Yeah. So basically, you've said everybody in the NFC South, apart from the Buccaneers. So let's just nuke that division, shall we? Panthers, I'm not sure about. Panthers are, I've got a weird eye on them, and I said they were going to make the playoffs, and then they proved me wrong by getting smooshed. But they're not going to do better than the Bucs, and I don't think they're going to have enough wins to sneak a wild card. That's the kind of problem. But I enjoy watching them. They're good fun at the moment. So that for me is enough. For them, maybe not. Depends how they continue to build. Because the thing is, with anybody in that division, the second that you start to get hot, then you can steal it. The thing of the NFC South always was, nobody ever was going back to back. Nobody used to win the NFC South back-to-back years. It took a long time for that to actually happen. And then even after that, somebody did it back-to-back, and then it changed hands again. So there's never a dominant franchise down there. So with kind of some of the injury woes of the Buccaneers, and there's going to be some players not there next year that will have been hanging on from the Super Bowl and whatnot, they could start to decline a little bit, which allows the other ones to even things out. And I mean, the joke has always been that somebody can win that division with 8 wins and make the playoffs. So perfectly fine to be able to do so. The Falcons, I never want them to succeed. So they can just keep whoever they've got running that ship. Yeah. Feel free to leave them be. The rest I kind of agreed with to an extent. The Saints tank is, do we need one? No. Would it be nice to have a high draft pick for the first time in my lifetime? Yes, it would be decent to have that. We're not going to win anything, so let's just flounder about and see how we go.
So there's 2 things I want to touch on: the Saints and the Panthers quickly. The Panthers are the 9th seed in the NFC. They're a win out of the playoffs at the minute with tiny Bryce Young. They were awful at the weekend, but that was with backup Andy Dalton. The Ginger Prince isn't a starting QB at this time.
They were awful the week before, though, as well.
Yeah, they are, but they're not a particularly great roster. I think Canales has handled the Bryce Young situation well, and he's developing for a guy that is not tall enough to be an NFL quarterback. When you've got guys that big in front of him, it makes it really, really difficult for somebody of his size.
Just ask Tua.
Yeah, exactly. He's just repping. So I think he's doing well, and I think he needs a bit more time. He's earned a bit more time. With the Saints, they kicked the can down the road with their spending and their cap hit and offering those ridiculous contracts to Taysom Hill to kind of fudge the figures. But that bill was always going to come due. So when they got a point going, this roster's not quite ready yet, we can't afford to properly stack it with vets and be competitive, it made sense. And I think Kellen Moore has shown enough as an OC elsewhere that give him a good quarterback and a good situation, you should see what he can do, because I think he has flashed. He's not been amazing, but he's flashed as an OC, and I think he could continue to develop and be a good offensive mind there. He's hidden a lot of the awfulness of Spencer Rattler with scheming. So I disagree on that, particularly on the Saints. I think it's too early to make a decision on that one for a first-year head coach.
But the rest of them, it is kind of a blow everything up scenario, because what are we even doing here? We've discussed on this podcast before the coming in college class isn't great, and arguably You've got Mendoza. He's the only one that is looking good at the moment from the college level that will probably declare from the draft. But I don't watch enough college ball, so if the Ohio State guy, because I think I've even got that one right, that he plays for Ohio State, which I'm really proud of myself. There's our college talk of the week. But we've done it. But the fact that that's it, there isn't really a other franchise QB that we're looking at here. We're kind of looking at DBs and defensive tackles in this class that are going to be really the game changers. Yeah. So what are the Bengals going to do? Yes, they've got one of the great white hopes in Joe Burrow there, but he's made of glass. The Browns, where are they going? Justin Fields, anywhere else? The Panthers, we've already discussed. Is Bryce Young the guy? The Saints, they're probably going to get Mendoza. The Titans already have their guy because they fired him. The Cardinals, where are they going with it? And the Falcons, is Malcolm Penix the guy? Arguably, he could be with a better coaching staff, in my opinion.
Yeah, and what's interesting from college football, someone's going to have to take a gamble on Drew Lock, I think. I think he's going to declare at the end of this year, and he's missed most of the season through injury, and he was probably looking as one of the favourites, but that's a risk after a bad injury. And there was Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks were talking about it earlier on, saying that there's an unprecedented high turnover expected for head coaches in college football as well. So I think there's going to be all sorts of flipping around and chopping and changing at the end of this season. We normally see quite a few, but I think it's probably going to be a lot more than you expect, and maybe quite a few retreads just because people are desperate.
Isn't the average 7 in the NFL? Something like that. Right. It's like 7 head coaches lose their jobs at the end of the season. Is the average in the NFL. But if we start seeing that in the college game, that could be dangerous and really kind of scary.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It could be very interesting.
Speaking of trash, I guess, Pete, we'll keep the negative things rolling. Any Brown not named Myles Garrett?
Yeah.
So you're saying start Shador? We don't talk about Shador Sanders enough on this podcast.
I'm talking about trade Myles Garrett because it's not fair.
He took the bag. All right?
He picked this.
I have no sympathy.
He picked this. Yeah. But at the weekend, he had 5 sacks.
He did, yeah.
5 sacks in one game, and they got absolutely battered.
He picked this. He picked this. He took that ginormous bag. He could have done what every other defensive player has done and sat on that bench and went, I'm not moving till I go to Las Vegas. I'm not moving till I go to Detroit. Dallas. I'm not moving till I go to Dallas. I'm not moving till I go to LA. I'm not moving till I get what I want. I'm a big baby and I'm going to throw my toys out the pram. Instead, he went, Cleveland, I'll do you a favor. I'm representing. Go dog pound, give me loads of money, and I'll continue to absolutely wreck games. Oh, wait, I did, but it wasn't good enough because the rest of us suck. Wait, I know this because I've talked about it with everybody and said that they suck a lot. But hang on a minute, I'm getting paid a bagload of money, so I should just shut my face. That's what I should do if I'm Myles Garrett.
I need to be absolutely clear. This is not any kind of sympathy for Myles Garrett because I think he's shown time and time again to not be a good person. Smashing people around the heads with their own helmet when they don't have a helmet on themselves. That kind of thing. He's not come across well on time and time again, but from an entertainment point of view, it does seem like I don't want to watch the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. But I do want to watch Myles Garrett just destroy things. Come over to Chicago. We need anybody that can get any pressure on the quarterback. Just come and it'll be really nice. The Browns even pay half the salary.
How do we do this? Can I make Pete bigger?
You can.
Okay, Pete, it's you to Myles Garrett. Go.
Okay. Myles, there's one franchise in NFL history that is prized for its defensive play more than anything else. It's the only thing that they have going for them historically, and that is the Chicago Bears. This season, we are the leader. We were going into the weekend. I've not checked since because we lost, so salt. But we led in turnovers. What we really need is somebody to work opposite Montez Sweat and get some pressure on. you could do historic things. Look what happened to Khalil Mack. Look how much of a legend he became coming to Chicago. Look at Brian Urlacher. Look at anybody that's really played on a half-competent Bears defense. This could be your crowning achievement. And all you need to do is take an enormous pay cut and spit your dummy out. And Cleveland Browns fans wouldn't even blame you. Give me a call.
He is going to be so surprised when he finds out that Stephen Merchant just asked him to join the Cleveland Browns.
All right. Thanks for that.
I think I'd be more surprised if Myles Garrett knew who Stephen Merchant was.
Oh no, he's out there now, Stephen Merchant. He's in all sorts of good stuff.
Stephen Merchant, Jared Leto, and Hank Scorpio on this podcast. Excellent.
That's what we really should have done for Halloween, shouldn't we? There we go.
Yeah.
Gonna save myself this hat. Although it is kind of Jared Leto. I could see him doing it.
Yeah, growing on you.
It's a little bit, yeah. Also in your trash pile, competitive tension this week. Only one score game.
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, I praised. I said the reason I love the NFL is there were all these. I think it was week 2 or 3. There were all of these games that came right down to the wire. It was really, really exciting. There was none of that this week. There was Jets v Bengals, and that was it. It was the only game that was a one-score game in the entire slate. You had 9 of the 13 games were 3-score games or more. That was the difference. They were just blowout after blowout after blowout. Nothing really kept particularly exciting. 9 3-score games. Some of them were 4. It's a shame. I mean, it's always good to see exciting offensive football, but you want to see it on both sides. You want to see games like the Bengals Jets. You don't care if both sides have incompetent defenses. But if it's one, it just becomes a bit like, it's a foregone conclusion now. Unless, obviously, you're the Broncos last week. And then it suddenly can become exciting again.
Yeah. I know it.
Yeah. It was good because it meant I could get an early night's sleep and just go, you know what, I'm not going to stay up till the end of red zone because I don't need to worry about anything now. I'll just catch the touchdown montage tomorrow because it's done. So I actually slept well on Sunday night for the first time in months.
Extra hour as well. Like that didn't hurt, did it?
No, not at all. Fresh as a daisy now. Fresh as a daisy. But yeah, that was a shame from my point of view.
Look, week 8, these midweek ones, it really starts to, depending on how they've set things up, you really start to separate the wheat from the chaff. This is where mid-season form really kicks in. Those that are competing are going to compete. Those that don't won't. And unfortunately, it's fallen on this week where it's clearly, I mean, even going through the pick'em last week, it was very clear the teams that I was going to choose. They didn't ever feel like, oh, this is going to be like an interesting like matchup or anything like that. So you combine that with the mid-season, people are starting to get a little bit tired, so like waiting for bye weeks and whatnot. So it starts to like get a bit like that right about this time, which is a shame. But I guess we will see because it starts to ramp up in what's like week 10, week 11. And then we start to like shoot back to the moon. So I think we're in that weird kind of 3-4 weeks where it is going to be a smushing, and you'll find there's less and less games on Red Zone because there'll be a lot of teams on bye weeks. There'll be like 4 in the opening half and 2 in the afternoon, and then you've got the week where Thanksgiving comes around, which is just around the corner, where 3 games are on a Thursday, which cuts out from Sunday, and yeah, it's going to be a tough one in this middle right now. All we have is left is trash, really, which is a shame. Alex, the Commanders.
Can I just add on the back of that? I do disagree that like it was all like cut and dry, because there were like at least 3 really big shocks. Obviously, the Dolphins got a win. They beat the Falcons, who were there. The Texans beat the 49ers. Like that was not something that we all expected because the Texans suck. And like there was one more, but my screen's just gone off. The other one that we could arguably say would be obviously the Jets beating the other ones that were the Bengals that were there, because the Jets suck as well. But like you are right in the big ones, but however, there were some big ones. Sorry, it's the Broncos at the Cowboys. That's the one I was thinking of, because you didn't expect the Broncos to blow out the Cowboys in that way. Yes,
No,
we've talked
true.
about the Cowboys defense on this podcast being absolute hot garbage, but we've also talked about how Dak Prescott has carried them over the line a lot and done that lot. So it's always leaps and bounds, but there were some real big shock blowouts as well this week. So it wasn't like every favorite one, and we were like, "Oh, that was the worst weekend we've ever seen ever." And there were some.
That's a good point. I did want to give a nod to the Texans. Actually, I forgot I put them in my bangers this week. Like, where did they come from? Like, always wear that horrible uniform, because whenever you do, you look more striking on TV, catch my eye, and then you play games like that I just didn't expect from them. So, like, hats off to them. Mounting the comeback. Here we go. Colts on the way down. Texans on the way up. It's going to happen.
And the weird thing was the bookies had the Texans the favourite going into that game. How? How were they the favourite?
What did they know?
Nothing to reflect, to suggest that they should be favourites in that game. So I'd love to know where the odds makers. I mean, obviously they were right, but I'd love to know where they got that from. Fascinating.
Yeah, Alex, I'm interested to talk about the Commanders with you. Shoot.
Their flop off has been predictable. And it's something that we absolutely thought would happen this season, because there were a fairy tale ride, and yes, Jaden Daniels isn't the Jaden Daniels from last year when doing that lot, but how terrible they were last night. Is it that they were really terrible, or is it the fact that the Chiefs were just really good? I'm actually leaning into the first one, that they were just not very good at football last night and haven't been for a good couple of weeks.
Yeah, look, we talked about it in the preseason where there's always that the fairy tale team like drops off. I've texted somebody today and said it'll be the Colts next year. Hatred and whatnot aside, like, nobody saw the Colts come in, so therefore they'll have this flash of the pan season next year. It won't be the same. But we did say in the offseason that we could definitely see the drop off of the Commanders. There was a lot of noise going on around contracts, around stadiums. Even the stupid orange president talking about their naming convention of them and all this stuff. There was just too much going on in that building. Plus, you take the fairy tale that nobody saw coming, and you apply the exact same like template from the Texans with CJ Stroud, where, oh my God, the Texans and CJ Stroud, bam, dropped off a cliff. And now we're finally seeing them maybe like have that push. But yeah, I think the Commanders can take this year off. And I think we're looking at middling. They're doing what I thought the Lions were going to do. I thought that fairy tale was the one that was going to end, but apparently not so much. I haven't spoke about the Lions actually this week. Were they on a bye?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Just like I thought, God, yeah, actually, I don't know what happened. They just weren't playing. Actually, no, that explains a lot, because one of my teams, I literally couldn't start 3 positions in fantasy. I didn't have a quarterback. I didn't have a wide receiver. I didn't have a kicker. I did win.
That's impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because Baker Mayfield absolutely shot the bed. Scored like 2.3 points or something like that, and just absolutely tanked the team that I was going up against. So that was nice for me.
I think with the Commanders as well, there's a couple of things that factor into play there. You've had, obviously, Terry McLaurin's been banged up, who made some phenomenal catches. It has to be said. He made some outrageous catches.
Yeah, he did,
2 that got overturned on review because he never made that. Oh wow, he did. That was that good. He's been banged up, and we're playing Mario, so Daniel's been, so they're not had the full team there. But also historically, Cliff Kingsbury offenses. He comes in, he'll run a fairly one-dimensional offense to start with. The team's not prepared for it, and he'll do really well first season. Second season on, he just goes and drops off a cliff. It happened at Arizona. It's happening here. I think it's just his MO, and I think they probably need to change it at OC as well.
Yeah, dude probably just has a really good like CV and flash in the pan, like comes in, does just enough, and then they see him and then see him off.
But like after this Washington gig, will he actually have that good a CV though? Because it will now just be, Yeah.
what?
We'll keep you for a year because you can script something after you take 2 years off. But then after that, no, you're gonna have to go away for another 2 years, Cliff.
Alex, I only put the 2 good GCSEs that I got on my CV, mate. I'm just
art and design and food technology. Boom.
maths and business studies. I'll have
Okay.
you know, these hats don't pay for themselves.
But I mean, he was quite well respected, or was very well respected college coach. So with this big change, it'd be interesting to see if he goes back there because there's decent money being a college head coach. I think there will be college teams fighting for him. It's just whether his ego will take that step back.
I mean, his ego has been cashing checks that his body can't cash.
Hmm.
And on that note, that was Bangs and Trash. On to topic of the week. Yeah, did a Halloween theme as well this time because we are talking Midway Monsters. I was going to call this episode The Monsters of the Midway because I thought, wow, that's got a good ring to it. And then I just went against it because it's way too one-sided, isn't it?
It's been taken.
The Midway Monsters. We don't often talk about teams that are just clearly good. We like to talk about underdogs and scrappy stories and all this kind of thing. And I'm just as bad as anyone for it. But I thought we'll give the flowers to the teams that, and I've put it. We're halfway into the season, so midway. Who's a lock for the playoffs, conference titles, Super Bowls? Who wants to kick us off, Pete?
Shall we just start with the boring answer?
They're all boring answers. We've picked
the
6.
most elephant in the room is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Their defense is elite. They always, every single season since Mahomes has been a starter, which is ridiculous, have got to the AFC Championship game at least. He's just got their 6th Infinity Stone with Rashee Rice coming back. Which makes a massive difference. He's playing as good as he has in years. The defense is still fantastic. He's done all of this and scored these crazy amount of points these last few weeks, and he's still not had a 100-yard receiver all season. No, not once. He's had 99 yards on the opening day and 99 from Kelsey yesterday. But we saw last week that Rice makes a huge difference for that. They're going to get there. The AFC, the entire league is massively stacked in the AFC's favor. There's a lot of really, really good teams in the AFC, not so many in the NFC, but they are still the best coach, the best quarterback, the best team. And as much as we want variety, they're going to get there, and we should just appreciate greatness.
Yeah, you don't realize you're in the good old days until they've passed, is the quote, isn't it? Like, we can all respect Tom Brady now. We hated him then. Do kind of miss seeing him nowadays. Same goes for Jordan, Tiger Woods, Michael Schumacher, all of that. Like it's you'll be able to tell people, oh, I was there when the Chiefs were the worst franchise in the league, and then B, the best franchise for a long time. So yeah, they are kind of the shoe-in. The other shoe-in, I'm just going to get the other one out of the way. I chuck the Bills in there because there isn't a week where the Bills are playing where I go, oh, they might lose this one. However, this week is Chiefs-Bills.
Yeah.
Which says a lot. Bills are the regular season champs, I think. They like to beat Kansas, and then as soon as the playoffs come around, everyone goes, yeah, they did them in the regular season, so they're going to do it here in the playoffs, and then they don't. So, yeah, look, watching the Bills is so good, it's boring. I'm looking forward to this week where they go up against Kansas City because the past couple of weeks, I haven't really felt like the Bills needed to try. They could have easily downshifted a little bit and like cruise to the win. So going against the Chiefs, this is going to be an actual like test. I don't know if they're in Arrowhead. I hope they are because they could do with that pressure before they inevitably go to see them at Arrowhead in the playoffs. That would be quite nice. But yeah, the Bills, like Cooks is literally cooking. Alan, even though he's distracted by his wonderful wife, appears to be just unstoppable. Defense is great. There's nowhere where I feel like they need an upgrade. Where you say the Chiefs haven't like a 100-yard receiver, I feel like all of the Bills could have had 100-yard weeks, and I've not seen it from them, but they feel like they've got the actual superstars around them where Pat Mahomes can build it in a cave with a box of scraps and still make it through to the playoffs and make everybody look good, whereas the Bills have talent around them.
Yeah, it's in Buffalo, by the way. And
Amazing.
nicely, it's 9:30. It's not a Sunday night football game.
How did that not make a prime time? Like, what the hell got Sunday prime time and then Monday night? Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to have a look.
Seahawks Commanders.
The issue that could face the Bills going forwards, and I'll link it similarly to Aiden Hutchinson and the Detroit Lions last year. That Ed Oliver injury is huge.
Yeah,
it's
worst
really
time. The face I'm pulling for anybody that is listening on audio is the face. The primetime game is Seahawks Washington. And then the Monday night football game is Cardinals Cowboys.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, bizarre. But happy for me because I'm not really that invested in either of those games. But Chiefs Bills should be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And it's the 9:25, so it'll be the last game. It'll be the last bit of the day where we can that'll be the only football to watch.
Is that going to be is that either going to be the Sky one or is that going to be the Channel 5 one for the UK listeners and viewers?
Channel 5 do 9 o'clock, don't they?
Yeah.
So I don't think they'd get a 9:25.
Oh, because because I think is it still Sky pick first and then Channel 5 pick second? So Sky will definitely take the Chiefs Bills, won't they?
You would think so.
Yeah, let's have a look. Week 9. Yes, on Sky Sports.
Yeah.
It means he's going to get blacked out on DAZN, which is frustrating for me.
That was the other thing that was going to be there was like if it's Channel 5, then obviously it's on DAZN and everybody else gets it as well. But like if it's on Sky Sports, then it's going to have mad viewership and they'll be able to do whatever.
There are 3 9 p.m. games, right? Jags Raiders, nothing's going to be worth watching. Saints Rams, that's just going to be one-sided, and then Kansas Buffalo. You can't tell me that Red Zone isn't going to cook that day. Every time, all we're going to do is watch Kansas City versus Buffalo, and every time they go to an advert, we'll cut to one of the other games. That's it. That's what we're getting here. I would actually prefer it this way around than it being available on Sky.
So essentially, it is a Chiefs Bills primetime game.
For us, it is,
Yeah.
Go on, Alex. Who are your midway monsters? Who you got?
I'm going the New England Patriots. Let's keep it in that division. The New England Patriots are going to make the playoffs. They're probably going to have 10 wins.
Top of that division right now.
Yeah. They are going to make the playoffs. And if they avoid the Buffalo Bills, or even they face the Buffalo Bills, I don't know who's going to beat them in that kind of conference. They could go to the conference championships. Now, of course, as Pete said earlier, Drake May is thrown into a bunch of nobodies. So that's the thing. If they come up against good defense, then they could face themselves out of it and are kind of there. But if they play smart, intelligent football, which is what Mark Vrabel's all about, then why not? They definitely could go to the conference.
Yeah. I traded away.
Run the Patriots have got, just quickly, is Falcons, Buccaneers, Jets, Bengals, Giants, and then Bills, Ravens, Jets, Dolphins. So until you get to the Bills, you could legitimately win all of those games playing the way that you do. They could probably put one up against the Bills if they really need to. And then are they already in the playoffs by the time? Do the Ravens need that playoff? Are the Ravens going to win 10 in a row? And then Jets in the final week. So, yeah, I think you're right. They're probably a shoo-in for the playoffs. I don't know if they are a shoo-in for anything outside. They'll probably end up in the wild card game, won't they? Because they're not going to get the bye week.
Well, with
so
that
then they've
schedule, why not?
Well, yeah, I suppose maybe.
They're already on what? They've already got 5 wins, haven't they? Am I just
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
delusioning myself with that? They already have 5 wins. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the 2 seed behind the Colts.
Yeah. So they've got 6
6
wins. They've got
6
6 wins. So you've just listed what? They're Falcons. They're going to beat the Falcons. Falcons are trash. The
Yep.
Buccaneers. Okay, let's say they lose the Buccaneers. That's 7-3. The Jets. Let's not even talk about that. The Bengals. Yes. So we're already at 9 wins and we're in November. The Giants. We're now in December. That's 10 wins. The Bills.
Yep.
Okay, let's say they lose to the Bills. It's 10-4. The Ravens. We've just said they're not playing for anything. Yes. Boom, boom. That's 13 wins, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not a 1 seed.
Well,
the Bills have got arguably a slightly more difficult run.
Yeah.
Only in places though: Chiefs, Dolphins, Bucks, Texans, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Browns, Eagles, Jets. So I think the Bills will probably end up with 1 less win if we just stack them up against what they're going to do here. So yeah, they could end up with that win-loss record from that. And then you're looking at, at the moment, they're either going to get Jacksonville, Kansas City, the Chargers, or the Bills. They're like the bottom 4 in that playoff run. Yeah, that's the bottom 4 that would make the playoffs right now, because it would be Colts, Patriots, Broncos, Steelers, the top of the AFC.
Imagine you got 13 wins, you are top of the division, and then after your bye week, you face the Chiefs. You just want to lose. You want to go to a wall and just start banging your head against it, because that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, the 1 seed has never felt more essential, has it, in the AFC?
Yeah, and at the moment, Colts until the absolute drop off. But it's coming. I say it every week, and I'm going to clip it out when I finally get it. All right. They're going to maybe get a wildcard spot. Who knows? But yeah, Patriots, pretty decent shout. Pete, do you want to give us your 2nd/3rd?
Well, there was a few that I wanted to name that I know that you guys aren't mentioning from the NFC. I want to do an AFC and an NFC. I wanted to say the Lions, but the Packers are ahead of them. I want to say the Buccaneers, but we've talked about them loads. A team that we haven't really talked about on here very much is the Philadelphia Eagles. And they're starting to get hot. Early in the season, they were winning without really doing much. It was just like, yeah, we're winning, but we're doing just enough. And it was that kind of boring wins that, a bit like the Chiefs have done over the last couple of seasons. They'll just grind out the win. They don't look convincing, but they're the 2 seed. They're 6-2. I think they'll overtake, and they're going to become the 1 seed. They're going to overtake the Packers. They're tying with the Bucks for record. But I think with how they are, how loaded they are everywhere, I don't think Barkley's going to miss much time. He might not even miss any, because they said they kept him out as a precaution when he went out at the end of the game. They're like, we're so far up, there's no point in pushing him back in now. Hurts is starting to find his guys. I don't think we're going to get a repeat of the last year's Super Bowl, because the NFL's not that predictable, but I think both of those teams are definitely getting to the championship game as a minimum.
Sure.
Yeah, don't they have Tank Bigsby that they picked up?
Yeah, they traded for him, didn't they, Frank the Tank?
Yeah. I thought that dude was great. He was kind of like lights out. He was fun to watch at the Jags. Now he's on a more winning team with a lot better players around him. He could do like Saquon things, not the way Saquon does. Like I don't see him doing like backflips or anything like that. But I don't think they'll necessarily miss Saquon. Is kind of the point that I'm getting at, because it's not like they've got some 3rd tier like running back. Like,
yeah,
Dan could legitimately be a number 1 on a lot of teams. He's just behind Saquon Barkley, and he's doing a hell of a job in the return game.
Yeah, and they've got such a good line, and they've got such a running threat from Hurts at quarterback as well. It opens an awful lot of holes to make anybody look good. So I think even if he forces to deceive, I think he could still put up good enough numbers for that team to beat their opponents.
The reason we don't talk about them a lot is because they're really boring.
Yeah.
Like, they I think we've said it before on this podcast that like they are arguably the most like slept on Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
Oh,
They won the thing
no
last
one's
year.
talking
What are we
about them.
talking about? No one talks about them like that. And I don't particularly want to anymore. I really like. I love the pick, Pete. I really do. I want them to fail so badly, like, so badly, so badly. And I don't think it's got anything to do with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a perfectly adequate quarterback, and Saquon Barkley is immense. AJ Brown is a complete tool. And their head coach, I'm not convinced he's actually a good head coach.
It's just got the best team.
He's just got the best team, man.
And the Eagles are on a bye this week, so Barkley's going to get Barkley's with his slight niggle injury will just get injured because, of course, he'll just get a week off to get healthy, ready to come back.
Yeah, and he just pulled up. He didn't scatterboo himself off the field. He just went, "Oh, my leg hurts a bit," and like walked off in a game where they were absolutely smushing people. Speaking of, by the way, why on earth did the Colts keep trotting out Jonathan Taylor? Like, they were crushing it.
Yeah.
And they were just like, "Here, Taylor, go and have a 40-yard run for a touchdown." Like, just sit the man.
It feels like they're doing it to get him records at this point, doesn't it? Like three hat tricks in a row.
Yeah.
3 games with 3 touchdowns in a row. It's absurd. And just like, let's see if we can break the single season record for rushing touchdowns.
He almost had a record that nobody else has ever held as well, didn't he? By having back-to-back 3 touchdown games against the same opponent, rushing touchdowns against the same opponent. So against they were against the Titans, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the past 2 times he's faced them, he scored 3 rushing touchdowns each time. And this would have been the 3rd. He got 2 rushing and technically 1 receiving because the 3rd one was a little like a jet sweep. They chucked it up in the air and he ran past and caught it. So technically it was a forward pass. It wasn't a rushing touchdown. But he was this close to having something nobody has ever done, go back-to-back against the same people and score 3 rushing touchdowns against them.
That's cool. And
yeah,
the record he's got to beat is LT, 28 rushing touchdowns in a season.
Yeah, great.
I reckon he can do it.
Probably could. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the obvious monsters of the Midway. Not that monsters of the Midway, but the Green Bay Packers was my other one. Like, I called it from the start. The second they signed Michael Parsons, I was like, they don't even need him. And I had them like making the playoffs. The second that they signed him, I was like, they're going to win the Super Bowl. And just watching them this week, I don't want to say humiliate because it looked closer than what it actually was. But Jordan Love and the lot of them just, I never for a second thought that the Steelers were going to do anything there. Also, the Steelers, they take worse dressed. All right. Like they'd have been better off in Alex's bin bag than they were in that horrible. I know it's 1933, but there must be a designer out there that could have put a little bit of flair on it. And seeing the Packers in all white, didn't like that either. It was the ugliest game I've ever seen. They had white helmets, for Christ's sake, because the Steelers had to wear their yellow ones, which absolutely threw me.
The Steelers kit looked more Packers than the Packers kit.
Yes, yeah. And did they do that because Aaron Rodgers, blah, 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 revenge game, blah, blah, blah. It's the first and probably the only time he's gone up against Green Bay because he, very well could retire next year. It just depends how it gets on and what he decides or how many mushrooms he takes. But that side.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Let me find the allegedly button. Oh, that was close.
Stopped him. He's beaten 31 teams, hasn't he? This was his chance to get the 32.
Well, I'm really pleased he didn't then. That actually he can get in the bin. So see you later, Aaron Rodgers. 31 teams. Did Brady do all 32?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good.
Isn't there? Isn't there the other stat as well that he's now been beaten by every team bar 3.
Okay.
And those 3 are the 3 you expect them to be, which is the Browns, the Browns, the Jets, and there's another one. I think the other one is surprisingly the Dolphins, but I'm
Did
not
the
sure
Bears
about
never-
that.
Did the Bears beat him ever?
The Bears
Oh
beat him.
yeah, that's
Bears
yeah.
beat him. The Khalil Mack. Oh no,
Yeah.
the Khalil Mack monster game we actually lost, but yeah, Bears beat him once.
Yeah,
Okay,
the Bears
fair
have beat him. He just owns them. Like he just has a little square patch of Soldier Field that is Aaron Rodgers.
Can you just mute Alex for a minute?
No, I'm going to highlight him. No, there's definitely when he retires, they're going to dedicate a part of Soldier Field to him, aren't they?
Yeah, the bins.
It's the away dressing room toilet. It's going to be called the Aaron Rodgers loo.
Yes.
The throne of Rodgers. All right, before you hit Pigman Flickham, Alex, give us your other midway or mid-season monster.
I'm going to go the Broncos.
Love it.
I am. Bo Nix is finding his form. He's finding his
They're
feet. He's a back-to-back weeks of over 3 touchdowns. And last week he threw 3. This week he's thrown 4. And they've got a head coach that we've discussed has got a ring. Why not? They've got weapons and receivers. It will be interesting to see how significant that Pat Surtain the second injury is and how much time he's going to miss. But they've got a good defense and they are well organized and well run. And there will be 3 teams from that division that we've already discussed in terms of the I've completely lost it. The AFC West. Those guys are 3 of them are going to make the playoffs in the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Broncos. So why not?
Yeah, fair enough. Big teams, big games. I got distracted there because I got a sleeper notification that said Cam Scatboo's status has changed from out to IR, and in the back of my head it was just in the arms of an angel, and just this little montage of him running into things. So I shed a tear. I guess this will probably be the last time I'll be able to do this season. Boy, Cam Scatboo, what a guy! I think. Well, I saw it on Blue Sky, and then I text you guys where somebody said he's unironically extended his career by being out now. He saved himself from going out that way. Oh, bless him! Right, let's bring it home with a little bit of picnic. We love being in the bottom 10, the 3 of us. Are we tanking because we can't win our own competition? Who knows? Are we making bold predictions because we're not trying to win? Who knows? Either way, both with 72 and 49, Joel and Pete in tied 11th place, and Alex with a respectable, some would say nice, 69-52 in 14th place. None of my underdog picks last week won. I made some bold choices, and I can't remember who exactly it was now, but having looked through, none of them came through. That's why I'm back down in the trenches with Pete. But having a look at this week, underdogs that I've got Denver over Houston, and I've put a question mark there because I can't understand how that is considered the underdog. That makes sense to me. It's win probability. It's not even like people have chosen it. So I don't know why that's gone down. I've got the Giants to beat the 49ers. Like I said, I think they're going to come out swinging. The Niners are all still injured apart from George Kittle's back. So slowly but surely we're going to start building that team back up. But the Niners are favored in that one. I don't think that Scatterbo going is going to be the be all and end all of that team. I think people are going to step up into that position. I think we're going to get a lot more throwing from Dart, which you've heard it here first. Stick them in your fancy lineups. I know I have. And then the other one, I've done it. I've picked the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Indianapolis Colts. Don't hate me, Indianapolis Colts fans. That's where I've gone.
And come a bit.
Sneaking upset, maybe, just maybe, Atlanta takes on from New England. Hear me out.
Yeah.
And I had a chat with somebody in, I think it was in the Discord, everyone go and join the Discord, where Atlanta are just there to ruin everyone's accumulator. I've worked it out. I've cracked the code. Never put them in either to win or to lose. They are just there to mess with people's things. Because, of course, New England are going to be Atlanta, right? Right? No. Somebody's getting a phone call. Atlanta are going to do the opposite. It's going to be 28-3, but then it's just going to stay at 28-3. And then they're going to laugh to the bank and everyone's going to lose their money to Skybet.
Or is that not going to happen this week because the NFL is under a lot more scrutiny because of what happened in the NBA?
What happened in the NBA?
Maybe. I think not.
Because the gambling.
The gambling.
Yeah, fair play. Quite possibly, but yeah. So I've got Atlanta to maybe. I've just put sneaking upset. I've backed New England in the pick'em. I think they're going to win. And my underdogs are Denver to beat Houston, the Giants to beat the 49ers, Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Indianapolis Colts. I also just want to give a shout out to your friend of mine, S Black 74, who was still first overall with 73-35, which doesn't seem like I've put the right number in there.
He's on 82. That was last week. He's on 82 wins.
82 wins. I know he's 1 point ahead of second place. So he's still holding on, but it could still come down to the wire. And in a bit that I like to call one brave soul, two actual brave souls this week picked Houston to beat the 49ers, and only two, and that would be Tundra Boy, the beautiful mind, our friend Tom, and Steve 31. Steve was either born in 1931, is 31, or Steve's 0 through 30 were taken. But either way, those two guys both picked Houston to beat the 49ers, which none of us saw coming. So credit to them. Boys, what have you got any underdogs this week?
I've got one. I mean, yes, I'm having the Texans losing as well. But the one that I think is unusual is I think the Raiders are going to beat the Jags. I think Raiders needed this bye week. And the Jags looked horrifically bad the 2 weeks leading into the into their backs. They've obviously both coming off the bye.
Yeah.
But the Jags got absolutely battered by the Rams and by who was it they faced the week before that? They got 35-7 to the Rams, and then the week before that it was 20-12 to the Seahawks. They looked like the wheels were coming off, and I think getting Bowers back and another week trying to get Janty going as well, I think the Raiders would cause an upset.
Yeah, the other one having like a week closed behind doors with Max Crosby just going, "Hey, can you just like make it to the end of the season before you put down your tools and like go on?" Can we have that? Can we have the good Max Crosby for the rest of the season? And then we will promise we will let you go to Dallas or Green Bay or Lions.
New England, baby.
Or New England, anywhere. You can go anywhere you want, mate. Except you cannot go to the Chiefs. You can't go to the Chargers. And you can't go to the Broncos. Those are the only three places where we can't let you. And even if you throw your dominion out the pram, we will then let you go to the Chiefs and ruin all of football for everybody. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Well, actually, I don't. I think the Raiders will get absolutely smushed because they are a really terrible football team. But apart from ones that you guys have discussed, there is no one else that will do anything good this week. All the favorites will win. The Cardinals won't do anything. The Commanders will get smushed. Yeah, I think it is going to be it could be week 2 of Bloodbath City.
Yeah, quite possibly. Do we have any? What we got? What's the Thursday night? Lamar Jackson's back at Baltimore to go against Miami. Going to be an absolute thumping, isn't it? And then looking at like the matchups that I really want to see. Bills Chiefs, like I said earlier, that's just going to be one to watch. I'm going to keep my eye on Saints Rams. I like the Rams anyway. Obviously, I like the Saints and see Shuck start and just actually being given a go. I'm going to keep an eye out there. And then your classics, New York against the Niners. Love both those teams. And watching Bo Nix at Houston. So there's a lot for me to watch this week. And how many times will they say 28-3 in the Atlanta New England game? But if I had to pick one and only one to watch, I think I want to see that Niners Giants. I like it when rubbish teams go against each other, and so far they're both playing the role of rubbish teams. So that's the one for me. What about you two?
You go first, Alex.
All right, then. I'll go the Panthers at the Packers.
Ooh.
Because I want to see if the Panthers actually get a grip and allow Rico Dowdle to be the leading guy.
Yeah. He's been sharing quite a bit with Chuba, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not working. He is better than Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
Just knuckle down and allow him to rush. Like, let him cook.
Yeah.
And you're not letting him cook at the moment, and it's ruining your season.
There's I'm going to say two because one of them feels unfair. The obvious one is Bears-Bengals, because Bengals defense sucks, but their offense has started to cook now with Flacco, and the Bears should be able to put some points on there. But there's a stat going into this weekend that the Bears led the league in takeaways and were dead last in yards per throw allowed. So they're absolutely awful, apart from they're great at turning the ball over. They're essentially a team full of Trayvon Diggs.
Nice.
So it should be quite a high-scoring, exciting game. So that should be interesting, but it feels like a cheat picking the home team.
But I will add a secondary stat to the Bears chat. They are the team with the most big plays per game through week 8.
And part of that is because they give away so many penalties that they have to make big plays. So they have to keep throwing them because they keep shooting themselves in the foot. But apart from that, we said it earlier on, Chiefs-Bills, it should be fascinating to watch. I think it'll be a really good game. The last few times I've played, it's been entertaining, even in the playoffs. And I think it should be worth the hype, live up to the hype.
It's rare you get playoff football in week 9.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like a preview.
Both of them mid-season form. I think they'll be cooking. They want to prove a point. They'll both be going for home field advantage in the playoffs and whatnot, because that could turn the tide one way or the other. So yeah, that's the one to watch. Go on, Nats.
Who's ready for a 17-14 Bills win? Yeah.
I love games like that, man. Give me a defensive smushing. I hate when Mahomes has to throw for 38 points, to win a game. Now let's do it. Let's have some turnovers. You punt, we punt. We're the Cleveland Browns. Good times, right? That has been us in our Halloween spectacular. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Cool outro phrase. Goodbye.